Derek Broaddus stood outside the house on 657 Boulevard, admiring the new home that he and his wife, Maria, had just purchased. It was a dream come true, a 6-bedroom colonial-style home in the quiet, upscale town of Westfield, New Jersey. The neighborhood was serene, the kind where children played outside without fear, where families had lived for generations. It was perfect, or so they thought. 3 days after closing the deal, Derek was alone at the house, finishing some minor renovations before moving in. He walked to the mailbox, expecting routine bills and junk mail. Instead, he found a white envelope, thick with folded paper, addressed simply to the new owner. The handwriting was odd, formal, deliberate. He tore it open, scanning the typed words inside. "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to your new home. I have been watching this house for decades now. My grandfather watched in the 1920s, my father in the 1960s, and now it is my turn. 657 Boulevard has been waiting for you. Do you know the history of this house? Do you know what lies within its walls? You have brought young blood. That excites me. Do they know what awaits them? Do you?" Derek's blood ran cold. The letter continued, mentioning their 3 children by description, not by name but by age and gender. Someone had been watching them already. "I have seen them playing outside. Are they too afraid to go inside yet? Or do they think they are safe?" He reread the letter, his hands shaking. This was no welcome note. This was a warning. That night he showed the letter to Maria. Her face drained of color as she read the words. "Who sent this?" she whispered. "How do they know about the kids?" They called the police immediately. An officer arrived, took the letter and examined it. There was no return address, no fingerprints, nothing useful. "Probably just a prank," the officer suggested, though his tone lacked conviction. But then more letters arrived. The second letter was worse. The writer seemed angrier this time. "Why are you ignoring me? 657 Boulevard is not happy with you. You are changing it. You are disturbing its soul. I see the workers. I see the changes. Do you think you can just do what you want? The house does not belong to you." Derek began staying up at night, sitting by the window, watching for anyone who might be lurking outside. He double-checked the locks, installed security cameras, and searched the neighborhood for anything suspicious. But there was never anyone there, at least no one visible. One night, Maria heard a noise outside their bedroom window. A faint rustling, like someone shifting in the bushes. She grabbed Derek's arm, motioning toward the curtains. Slowly, he crept toward the window and pulled them back. But there was nothing. Yet, when they woke up the next morning, another letter was waiting for them. "I saw you looking for me. I was there. I see you when you sleep. Who has the room that faces the street? I know the answer. Do you?" Maria refused to stay another night. The family decided to delay moving in. The house sat empty, its beautiful walls hiding something far more sinister than they had ever imagined. Derek hired a private investigator, desperate for answers. They combed through records, looked into previous owners, questioned neighbors. One elderly woman mentioned something chilling. Years ago, before the house was renovated, a strange man was seen standing outside at night, watching the windows for hours. Then, another neighbor told them about the Langfords, a reclusive family who lived nearby. The father had passed away years ago, leaving behind adult children who were rumored to be odd. One of them, Michael, fit the profile. Unmarried, jobless, and known for staring at people from behind his curtains. But when the police questioned him, there was no proof. The Broadduses were trapped. They owned a house they were too afraid to live in. They put it on the market, but word about the Watcher spread, scaring away buyers. Finally, after years of fear, they sold the house at a loss, never having spent a single night inside. The new owners never reported receiving letters. Some say the Watcher moved on. Others believe the Watcher won, having driven away the family that dared to claim the house as their own. But the question remains, who was the Watcher? A jealous neighbor? A twisted stalker? Or something older, something bound to 657 Boulevard, waiting for the next family to arrive for new blood to fill its rooms. To this day, no one knows. But if you ever find yourself in a quiet town, looking at a house that seems too perfect, remember, some houses don't belong to the people who live in them. Some houses belong to the ones watching from the shadows, waiting, always waiting.